Are you secretly standing on the edge of your greatest life chapter and don't even know it yet? Inspired by Carl Jung's profound wisdom, this video unveils 7 shocking signs that your transformation is already underway. From questioning everything you once believed to breaking free from what holds you back. Get ready to discover how chaos is secretly paving the way for your most powerful, authentic self. Stick with me, because by the end, you'll see the universe has been guiding you all along. Let's dive in. Have you ever found yourself staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m., wrestling with questions that seem to bubble up from nowhere? Who am I? Really, what do I want out of this life? Am I even on the right path if these thoughts have been haunting you lately? I don't brush them off as sleepless nonsense. According to Carl Jung, this restless questioning is one of the first electrifying signs that you're stepping into the best stage of your life. It's not a crisis, it's a wake-up call from your soul, and it's about to change everything. Imagine Sarah, a 34-year-old accountant from Chicago, who spent years climbing the corporate ladder. One day, she caught herself zoning out during a meeting, her mind spinning with a single thought. Is this it? The stability she'd worked so hard for suddenly felt like a cage. That moment wasn't random. It was the universe nudging her to peel back the layers of a life built on others' expectations. Carl Jung called this the beginning of individuation, the process where your true self starts breaking free from the masks you've worn. And it starts with those uncomfortable, beautiful questions. This internal earthquake might feel disorienting. The beliefs you clung to about success, relationships, or even your identity begin to crack. Maybe you've always thought a big house and a fancy car defined happiness, but now you're wondering if joy lies in something quieter, like writing music or helping others. That discomfort, it's sacred. It's the sound of your old mental structures crumbling to make room for a bolder, truer you. Carl Jung believed this questioning is the universe's way of inviting you to dismantle illusions and step into a reality aligned with your higher self. Take Mark, a 28-year-old from Seattle, who started questioning his 60-hour work weeks. One evening, he sat down with a journal and wrote, "Am I living for me or for my boss?" That simple question sparked a chain reaction. He enrolled in a photography class, something he'd loved as a kid, but abandoned for practicality. Within months, his photos were gaining traction online, and he felt alive in a way his paycheck never could. This isn't just a story, it's proof that questioning can be the portal to your rebirth. But here's the catch: this process isn't always smooth. You might feel lost as certainties vanish. The job that once gave you pride might now feel meaningless. Friends who cheered your old ambitions might not get this new you. That's okay. Carl Jung saw this disorientation as a spiritual cleansing, a death of the false self to birth the authentic one. It's like clearing a cluttered room to make space for art. The chaos is creation in disguise, and every question you ask is a brushstroke on the canvas of your evolution. So, what do you do with these questions? Lean into them. Don't run from the unease. Embrace it as a sign you're waking up. Ask yourself, what if I let go of what I've always assumed? Or what would my life look like if I honored my soul's calling? These aren't just philosophical musings, they're invitations. Carl Jung taught that stepping through these portals means there's no turning back. The world will feel unfamiliar, but that's because you're finding your true path. Free from old roles and expectations, let's bring it home with a practical step. Next time a big question hits, grab a notebook, write it down. Then jot down one small action you can take, like researching a new hobby or having an honest chat with a loved one. This isn't about having all the answers, it's about starting the journey. The universe is cheering you on, and every question is a step toward a life that feels like yours. Ready to keep exploring? Stay tuned for the next sign that's already unfolding within you. Have you ever felt a quiet pull? Like something inside you is gently tugging you away from the life you once knew. Maybe the hobbies that once lit you up now feel like echoes of a distant memory. Or the people you used to call your crew suddenly seem like strangers. If this resonates, you're not losing your mind. You're experiencing one of Carl Jung's most powerful signs that you're on the brink of your best life chapter yet. This growing disconnection from your past isn't a setback. It's a sacred invitation to step into who you're truly meant to be. Take Lisa, a 39-year-old teacher from Austin, who loved her weekly book club for years. One day, she realized the conversations felt hollow, and the books she once devoured no longer sparked joy. At first, she thought it was burnout, but deep down, she sensed a shift. She started exploring hiking trails instead, and with every step, she felt a weight lift. Carl Jung would call this a soulful nudge, a signal that she'd outgrown a chapter of her life. Your past, with its routines and relationships, served you well. But as you evolve, it's natural for those pieces to fade, making room for a version of you that's more aligned with your current truth. This disconnection doesn't happen overnight. It creeps in slowly, like a tide receding from the shore. You might notice old songs losing their magic, or childhood haunts feeling oddly foreign. For Jake, a 25-year-old graphic designer from Boston, it was his gaming group. What used to be a lifeline during tough times now left him drained. He didn't abandon them out of spite. He simply outgrew the energy they brought. Carl Jung saw this as part of individuation, where your soul gently urges you to release what no longer fits, like shedding an old skin to reveal the vibrant one beneath. The process can sting. Letting go of familiar pain or comfort zones feels like mourning a part of yourself. Maybe it's the job that defined your worth, or the friend who's been there through thick and thin, but now pulls you backward. That ache, it's real, but it's also transformative. Carl Jung believed this unraveling is the universe clearing space for your rebirth. Think of it as a forest fire, painful, yes, but essential to make way for new growth. What's left is raw, honest, and ready for something extraordinary. So, how do you navigate this? Start by observing without judgment. Notice what feels off. Maybe it's a routine that bores you, or a relationship that leaves you exhausted. Write it down. Then ask, does this still serve me? For Emily, a 32-year-old nurse from Denver, this meant leaving a toxic friendship. She journaled her feelings and realized the bond drained her energy. After a heartfelt goodbye, she found new friends who lifted her spirits. This isn't about cutting ties harshly. It's about honoring your growth with love. The beauty lies on the other side. As you release the old, à souple l'excitement émerge. Like the first hint of spring after a long winter, you might not see the full picture yet, but your soul does. Carl Jung taught that this disconnection is a sacred signal, preparing you for a life more authentic. It's not about abandoning your past. It's about unbinding from what's fulfilled its purpose. You're not losing. You're making room for a future that reflects your truest self. Ready to embrace this shift? Try one small act today. Skip that old habit, or reach out to someone new. The universe is rooting for you, and this disconnection is your cue to step forward. Stay tuned for the next sign that's already whispering your name. Have you ever woken up one day and realized the things you chased for years, money, status, that perfect Instagram feed, suddenly feel like they're missing the mark? If you're starting to question what truly matters, you're not alone. And according to Carl Jung, this is a blazing sign. You're stepping into the best stage of your life. This shift in perspective isn't just a phase, it's a revolution within, where the superficial starts fading and a deeper sense of purpose takes the wheel. Picture Tom, a 45-year-old marketing executive from Los Angeles, who spent decades building a career that turned heads. One morning, staring at his corner office, he felt nothing. The promotions and bonuses didn't spark joy anymore. Instead, he found himself drawn to volunteering at a local shelter, where a single thank you from a rescued dog lit him up more than any paycheck. Carl Jung would say, Tom was peeling back the layers of societal expectations to uncover what his soul craved: connection over conquest. This redefinition is your inner compass recalibrating Bostume, guiding you toward a life that resonates with your authentic self. This process often starts subtly. Maybe you scroll past luxury ads without a second glance, or you catch yourself shrugging off a friend's brag about their new car. What once gripped you: material goals, others' opinions. The pressure to keep up begins to lose its hold. For Maria, a 30-year-old artist from New York, it was her obsession with social media likes. One day, she deleted her accounts and picked up her sketchbook instead. The quiet joy of creating for herself outweighed the fleeting validation of followers. This isn't rejection, it's a filter dropping away, letting you see past the noise to what truly enriches your spirit. But it's not always easy. This questioning can stir a storm of uncertainty. You might feel lost, adrift in a sea of what now as old priorities dissolve. Carl Jung saw this as fertile ground for growth, a space where new answers sprout from within, not from external voices. Take it from Ryan, a 27-year-old from Miami, who ditched his corporate grind to teach surfing. He realized fulfillment came from waves and laughter, not boardroom applause. This shift proves that true meaning lies in experiences and relationships that nourish your soul, not in accumulating trophies. So, how do you lean into this? Start small. Reflect on one thing you've chased that feels hollow now. Maybe it's a promotion or a social circle. Ask yourself, does this light me up? Or am I just playing a role? Then take a step toward what does. For Jen, a 38-year-old mom from Portland, it meant trading PTA drama for gardening. The peace she found in her plants rewrote her definition of success. Add real-world examples to your day. Volunteer. Create. Connect and watch how your priorities shift. This reevaluation can spark a total rethink of your purpose. Why am I here? What do I want to experience? These questions don't demand instant answers, but they open you to new passions. Maybe you'll rediscover a forgotten love for cooking or feel a pull toward mentoring others. The key: let go of what society deems essential and embrace what your heart whispers. Carl Jung believed this is the doorway to a conscious life, one where your choices reflect your purest essence. The journey might feel lonely at first. Old friends might not vibe with your new outlook. And that's okay. It's temporary. As you align with your truth, you'll attract people who get it. This isn't a crisis, it's an awakening. You're not losing your way. You're finding a path that fits the real you. So, embrace the shift. Redefine what matters, and watch your life bloom into something extraordinary. Ready for the next sign? Stay with me. Have you ever had that gut feeling, a quiet hunch that guides you even when logic can't explain it? Maybe it was a sudden urge to take a different route home, only to avoid a traffic jam, or a sense of peace that told you to trust a new opportunity. If you're tuning into this inner voice more than ever, Carl Jung would call it a radiant sign that you're stepping into the best chapter of your life. This awakening of intuition isn't just a fluke, it's your soul stepping up to lead the way. Meet Claire, a 33-year-old therapist from San Francisco, who faced a career crossroads. One night, she felt an unexplainable pull to switch to holistic healing. Despite her stable practice, ignoring the doubt, she followed that inner nudge, enrolled in a course, and within a year, her clients raved about her new approach. Carl Jung saw intuition as a bridge to your true self. a deeper knowing that cuts through the noise of everyday life. When you start trusting it, you're aligning with a wisdom that's been there all along, waiting for you to listen. This shift doesn't happen overnight. It often begins with small sparks, like a sudden calm during a stressful decision, or a thought popping up out of nowhere that turns out to be spot on. For Daniel, a 29-year-old chef from Atlanta, it was a gut feeling to decline a high-paying gig. He chose a smaller kitchen instead, and that choice led to a mentorship that transformed his career. Carl Jung believed this inner voice emerges as your consciousness expands, dissolving the limits you once set. It's like a compass, activating, pointing you toward your authentic path. At first, it might feel tricky to recognize the chatter of daily life deadlines, opinions, distractions can drown it out. But as you pause and listen, that voice grows clearer. It might show up as a tingle in your chest, a random insight, or a certainty about someone you meet. Take Jenna, a 26-year-old from Phoenix, who felt a strange unease about a new friend. Trusting that hunch, she distanced herself, only to later learn the friend was unreliable. This isn't magic, it's your intuition tuning into energies you can't yet see. So, how do you harness this? Start by creating space for it. Set aside 5 minutes a day to breathe deeply and ask, what's my gut telling me? Don't rush to judge, let the answer surface. For Michael, a 40-year-old engineer from Dallas, this meant meditating during lunch breaks. One day, he felt a clear pull to pivot to renewable energy, a move that later landed him a dream role. Trusting your intuition doesn't mean ignoring logic. It's about balancing it with that deeper knowing. When you do, decisions flow easier, and life starts feeling like it's on your side. As you lean into this, patterns emerge. Random events, meeting a stranger with perfect advice or stumbling on a book that shifts your perspective, begin to connect like puzzle pieces. For Sarah, a 31-year-old writer from Seattle, it was a chance encounter with a poet who inspired her first novel. Carl Jung called these synchronistic moments the universe's way of confirming you're on track. You'll feel it, a sense of being in the right place at the right time, doing what you're meant to do. The payoff, a profound peace settles in. Even without all the answers, you'll feel secure, guided by an inner strength that drowns out fear. This is the start of a self-discovery journey where your choices align with your essence. So, trust that voice. It's your soul's GPS, leading you to a life of clarity and authenticity. Ready for the next sign? Keep watching. Have you ever felt a fire igniting inside you? A restless urge to evolve beyond the person you've always been? If you're suddenly craving new knowledge, chasing experiences that stretch your limits, or diving into books that challenge your worldview, take it as a thunderous sign from Carl Jung that you're stepping into the best stage of your life. This hunger for growth isn't just a whim, it's your soul demanding a transformation, pushing you to become the most authentic version of yourself. Consider Alex, a 36-year-old software developer from Portland, who spent years coding in a comfortable routine. One day, he stumbled across a podcast on mindfulness and couldn't stop listening. That spark led him to meditation retreats, where he uncovered a passion for teaching others to find peace amid chaos. Carl Jung would call this a call to individuation, a deep inner drive to expand beyond your comfort zone. This thirst for growth is your spirit waking up, eager to explore uncharted parts of who you are. This shift often starts with a subtle itch. Maybe you're enrolling in an online course, picking up a journal to reflect, or striking up conversations with people who think differently. For Priya, a 28-year-old graphic designer from Chicago, it was a late-night urge to learn pottery. What began as a hobby turned into a thriving side business. filling her with a sense of purpose she'd never known. Carl Jung saw this hunger as a sign. Your mind is ready to break free from old limits, embracing new skills and perspectives that fuel your evolution. But it's not always smooth sailing. This drive can feel overwhelming, like standing at the edge of a cliff, unsure of the leap. You might question old beliefs, maybe the idea that success equals a big salary, or confront fears of failure. Take Liam, a 42-year-old teacher from Denver, who felt compelled to study philosophy after years of routine lessons. The first months were daunting, but each new idea reshaped his classroom, inspiring his students. This discomfort is growth in action, a necessary push to align with your higher self. So, how do you feed this hunger? Start by feeding your curiosity. Pick one thing that excites you, maybe a language, a craft, or a cause, and dive in. For Sophia, a 34-year-old nurse from Austin, it was volunteering at a community garden. That experience not only healed her burnout, but also sparked a movement to bring green spaces to her city. Set small goals. Read a chapter. Try a class. Connect with a mentor. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Carl Jung believed this pursuit of growth connects you to a transformative energy, where nothing feels impossible if you're willing to evolve. This longing goes beyond intellect. It's emotional and spiritual too. You might find yourself facing old wounds, past rejections, or self-doubt, ready to let them go to make room for healing. For Jamal, a 30-year-old from New Orleans, it meant confronting his fear of public speaking through a local workshop. Each speech built his confidence, turning a weakness into strength. This process is exciting because it's about becoming whole, aligning with your deepest values and purpose. As you grow, your life shifts. Superficial distractions fade, replaced by meaningful pursuits. Connection, authenticity, impact. You might surround yourself with people who challenge you, like book clubs or growth-minded friends. This isn't just a choice anymore, it's a necessity. Carl Jung saw it as a priority that reshapes your inner and outer world. So, embrace that hunger. It's your soul's roadmap to a life where the ordinary becomes extraordinary. Ready for the next sign? Stay tuned. Have you ever felt like you're carrying an invisible weight? Drained by people or situations that once felt familiar, but now suffocate your spirit? If you're sensing a burning need to break free from toxic relationships or environments, Carl Jung would see it as a powerful sign you're stepping into the best stage of your life. This urge to let go isn't just a mood swing, it's your soul reclaiming its power, paving the way for a future filled with peace and authenticity. Take Rachel, a 35-year-old event planner from Miami, who spent years tolerating a friend's constant criticism. One day, after a particularly harsh comment, she felt a surge of clarity. This wasn't friendship, it was a chain. She set boundaries, and though it stung, she found herself lighter, surrounded by new connections that lifted her up. Carl Jung viewed this as part of individuation, shedding toxic ties to align with your true self. Your energy is shifting, and anything that dims your light has to go. This awakening often hits when you least expect it. Maybe it's a co-worker's gossip that suddenly feels exhausting, or a family dynamic that no longer feels like home. For Ethan, a 27-year-old barista from Seattle, it was a roommate who thrived on drama. One night, he moved out, and the silence that followed was liberating. Carl Jung believed this disconnection from toxic energy is your inner wisdom surfacing, telling you that staying stuck hurts more than the unknown. You're evolving past these dynamics, and that's a beautiful thing. The process can be tough. Letting go might mean ending a long-standing relationship, or walking away from a job that's comfortable but soul-crushing. There's fear of loneliness, fear of judgment, but there's also strength. Take Maya, a 40-year-old from Houston, who left a controlling partner. The first weeks were rocky, but she soon found a supportive community that celebrated her growth. This isn't about resentment, it's about self-respect. Carl Jung taught that choosing peace over toxicity is an act of love for yourself. So, how do you make this break? Start by tuning in. Notice who or what leaves you drained. Jot it down without overthinking. Then ask, does this support my growth? If not, set a small boundary. For Olivia, a 29-year-old teacher from Boston, it meant limiting time with a needy colleague. She replaced those hours with yoga, and her energy soared. You don't need a grand exit. Small steps like saying no or seeking support can shift everything. Carl Jung saw this as liberating your spirit to attract what truly nourishes you. The reward is worth it. As you release toxic ties, new doors open. You might meet people who inspire you, like a mentor or a friend who gets your vision. For Carlos, a 33-year-old from San Diego, leaving a draining job led to a passion project that became his career. These connections don't drain, they fuel. Carl Jung believed this is your rebirth, where you prioritize peace, authenticity, and relationships that reflect your true self. It's not easy, but it's empowering. A declaration that your well-being matters. Ready to embrace this freedom? Take one step today. Set a boundary or seek a new connection. Your soul is guiding you to a life unrestrained. Stay tuned for the final sign that seals your transformation. Have you noticed a quiet shift, where the things that once defined you, old habits, faded relationships, familiar routines, start feeling like distant echoes? If you're sensing a powerful disconnection from what no longer serves you, Carl Jung would hail it as the final, breathtaking sign that you're stepping into the best stage of your life. This isn't just a change, it's your soul's bold invitation to embrace a new, authentic you, unburdened and ready to soar. Picture Nadia, a 38-year-old florist from New Orleans, who loved her cozy apartment filled with memories. One day, she felt an urge to declutter, letting go of trinkets tied to her past self. That act sparked a move to a brighter space, where she launched a garden-inspired art project that became her passion. Carl Jung would call this a sacred shedding, a release of old layers to reveal the vibrant self beneath. Your evolution demands space, and this disconnection is the universe's way of making it happen. This transformation unfolds gradually, like dawn breaking over the horizon. You might wake up and realize a hobby you adored no longer sparks joy, or a conversation with a longtime friend leaves you drained instead of inspired. For James, a 31-year-old mechanic from Phoenix, it was his nightly television binge. One evening, he swapped it for stargazing, and that simple shift opened his eyes to a love for astronomy. Carl Jung saw this as your inner compass recalibrating, guiding you to let go of what's outgrown its purpose, making room for what aligns with your true essence. The transition can feel heavy. There's nostalgia maybe for a job that once gave you pride or a place that felt like home. You might ask, why don't I feel the same? For Tara, a 44-year-old from Charlotte, it was her childhood neighborhood, which suddenly felt foreign after years of change. That ache is normal, but it's also liberating. Carl Jung believed this shedding is like a forest clearing after a fire, painful yet essential for new life. What remains is a raw, honest space where your authentic self can thrive. So, how do you step into this new you? Start by honoring the shift. Notice what feels off: old fears, routines, or ties, and gently release them. Write a goodbye letter to that version of yourself. Then celebrate with a small act, like a walk in nature or a new recipe. For Leo, a 29-year-old from San Antonio, it meant leaving a draining side hustle. He treated himself to a hike, and the clarity he gained inspired a freelance career. This isn't about rejection, it's about making room for growth. Carl Jung taught that this process is your soul's way of guiding you to a life that reflects who you're becoming. As you let go, magic happens. New opportunities bloom, maybe a chance meeting or a passion rekindled. For Aisha, a 35-year-old from Denver, clearing out old clothes led to rediscovering her love for dance, which she now teaches. These moments are the universe's nod that you're on the right path. Carl Jung called them synchronistic gifts. Proof. Your inner and outer worlds are aligning. You'll feel a deep peace, a sense that you're exactly where you're meant to be. This is your rebirth. The disconnection isn't an end, it's a beginning. You're not losing. You're evolving into a version of yourself bolder, freer, and truer. So, embrace it. Let the old fall away, and welcome the new with open arms. Your journey's just getting started, and the best is yet to come. You've just walked through a journey of transformation that Carl Jung himself would marvel at. You're not just changing, you're becoming the masterpiece he dreamed of. These 7 signs: questioning your past, trusting your intuition, breaking free, and embracing the new. You are proof. The universe has been crafting your greatest chapter. This isn't the end, it's your explosive beginning. So, take a deep breath, feel that fire within, and step boldly into this life you were always meant to live. Now, it's your turn. Which of these signs hit home for you? Drop it in the comments below. I can't wait to hear your story and support you on this path. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and share this with someone who's ready to transform. Together, we'll keep uncovering the depths of your psyche. Join me next time for more insights that will light up your soul. Let's grow, evolve, and thrive. See you soon.